I forgot about you.
Books and coffee, that's all I need. Lost in a world of fantasy.
Hey pals, welcome to my mid-year freakout tag. So, my hair is freaking out too, so please just ignore that and we'll just move on. So, the mid-year freakout tag, I have watched a few others. So I've watched Brittany's, I've watched Vanessa's, but I think the original creator for this may be Kristin Crave's books. I will link all of the people that I've just mentioned below. And if I've got that information wrong, I'm really sorry. I have tried to find out and I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure someone knows. So if you are watching this and you know, feel free to comment below. I would hate to not give the credit where credit's due for this. So okay, first question is best book so far this year. Now this one's hard. Well, all of these questions to me are hard, and I think probably difficult for most bookish people. So I think I'm going to put it between Six Scorched Roses by Carissa Broadbent. That is a prequel to the something Nyaxia series. The first book is Serpent and the Wings of Night. You know that one. I loved Serpent and the Wings of Night, but for me, Six Scorched Roses, just I can't stop thinking about it. I love it. I love the whole the Six Scorched Roses. I love the relationships. I love the characters. And I keep thinking about it even when I'm reading other books, which is a bit of a new one for me. And then I also have A Psalm for the World Built by Becky Chambers. This one has popped up in a few of my friends' videos for obvious reasons. I feel like I'm not going to harp on too much about it because I love it, but a lot of people love this, so I feel like there's lots of information and I want you to watch this, but I also want you to watch everyone else's take on these things too. So this is a monk and robot book. It is basically a monk and a robot meet and they go on a journey together. It is sweet, it makes you think, and it's just, for such a little book, it's just such a fun time, and I know I'll reread this many times in my life. So next we have best sequel, so that I've read so far this year. Okay, so again it's between two books for me. It is between, and this may be a surprise to some people, I don't know, because I don't even though I do read manga and graphic novels and stuff, I don't think they pop up very much on my channel, so this may be a surprise, but Cat and Gamer volume 2 onwards. I absolutely love this series, and the sequel I felt was better than the first one, because I don't know, I just love it. That's really unhelpful. Cat and Gamer is a manga series about a woman who she games for her hobby and is pretty obsessed with gaming, honestly, and pretty much lives her, and that leaches out into her whole life, and she's a bit of what do you call it when you don't talk to people? A hermit. Oh my god, a hermit. She's a bit of a hermit, other than going to work, and she ends up with a cat, not on purpose, but they say cats choose you, and I think that's definitely true in this case. And it is so sweet. She's learning how to be a cat mum, and yeah, it's just a really fun time. And then later on in the series, another edition comes into play, and that's just even sweeter. So yeah, so it's that one, and slightly opposite is What Feasts at Night by T. Kingfisher. This is the sequel to What Moves the Dead, and What Moves the Dead is loosely based on what is it called? Fall of the House of Usher. It is loosely based on the fall of the House of Usher, and I really enjoyed What Moves the Dead, but actually What Feasts at Night I felt was just a little bit better. For me, I enjoyed it just that little bit more, and I can't really put my finger on why I enjoyed it more, but I think it's that continuation of the characters in a different setting for me really worked. And yeah, like I don't know, like both books were a little bit creepy. Obviously they're horror. I think they come under the horror genre anyway. Yeah, comes under horror, so obviously they're supposed to be a little bit creepy in some way, shape or form, but it's definitely more psychological for me. There is some a little bit of body horror, I wouldn't say a lot, and there is there's something causing an illness in this, but I can't remember what causes it, and it just refers to it as a dark shadow. So yeah, I know in the first one there's a creepy thing with mushrooms, which I don't want to talk about because I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't read it, but yeah, I will never look at mushrooms again the same way. They will always freak me out now. Yeah, anyway, moving on. Waffling, get on with it. New releases that I haven't got to yet, but really want to. So we have two. We have more than that realistically, but probably top of the list is The Shadow Cabinet by Juno Dawson. This is the next book. Is there a series name for this? Oh yeah, obviously the series name is Her Majesty's Royal Coven, and this is the second book in that series. I read the first one last year and immediately pre-ordered this one. It is witchy. I haven't read it for a while, so I can't 100% remember, but it is based on, it's a spin-on. In real life in the UK, we have HMRC, which is Her Majesty's Revenues and Customs. So it is based on that, but it's witches. It's Her Majesty's Royal Coven, so obviously it's witches defending the UK. And how that plays out is pretty cool, honestly. And this is the second book in that series, and I can't wait for it. And then we have Sunbringer by Hannah Kaner. This is the next book after, I was going to say Feybound then, but I didn't mean that, I meant Godkiller. And this came out, I think, in February or March. And I just haven't had time to get to it yet. So this is part of a trilogy, the Fallen Gods trilogy, and that's not going to tell me what month it came out, it's just going to tell me the year. Yeah, so I'm very excited to read this. I loved Godkiller. I've read it twice already. Only read it for the first time this year, so I've read it twice in a relatively short space of time, and yet I have not had time to read Sunbringer yet. So this needs to happen, right? and feel free to bully me and to keep prodding me and checking, Laura, have you read Sunbringer yet? And if the answer is no, then it's a problem, okay? It's a problem. Okay, moving on. Most anticipated release for the second half of 2024 is definitely, there's a few, but the top of that list, this one was easy for me, is Odd Spirits by S.T. Gibson. If you have watched my maybe not so much my videos, but if you are on my Instagram, you may know already that I have a bit of a crush on S.T. Gibson. She's kind of amazing, and yeah, so I will read everything that S.T. Gibson puts out into this world, and I will likely love it all. So far I've loved everything. So yeah, I've read An Education in Malice, loved it. I've read A Dowry of Blood, loved it. I've read Evocation, loved it. So yeah, and Odd Spirits is a prequel to the Summoner's Circle series. So, and it is tracing the origins of Reese and Moira's marriage. So I'm very excited about this. Very. I stop looking at it. Stop swooning. Stop now. Okay, moving on. We have Odd Spirits comes out in October in the UK. I don't know if that's the same elsewhere in the world, but yes, if you like S.T. Gibson, feel free to pre-order because it helps apparently. Am I getting paid for this? No. Okay, moving on. Book I really need to read by the end of the year. I thought I answered this already. Oh no, that's okay. Okay, book I really need to read this year is definitely, I mean, I've got lots of them, but The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I am, if you've been here for a little while, you will know I'm obsessed with The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I have read that book several thousand times, and to the point where I annotate it nearly every single time I read it, and I've annotated it so much I needed to get a new copy of it. That's how much I love this book. Okay, but yet I have not read the only other book that's out there by this author. So I probably need to get round to doing that. Biggest disappointment. Okay, my biggest disappointment so far this year. No. Yes, biggest disappointment in general, book-wise, so far this year. Definitely Ocean's Echo by Everina Maxwell. I could cry at how disappointed I am with this. I was obsessed with Winter's Orbit. I've read that a couple of times. I love the relationships, the world / space. I love the characters. I love the politics. I just loved everything. I loved the love. I loved everything about Winter's Orbit. There was nothing I didn't love about Winter's Orbit. And yet Ocean's Echo, I somehow finished it, but I couldn't tell you anything about it because after the third, I stopped paying attention because I was bored. It felt very much like a carbon copy of the first one, but with different characters, and it just lost all its spark for me, and I just was so disappointed. I think I read this as a 5-star prediction, actually. No, I didn't. I read this for Tar, and I read it for the prompt where I had to read something that I could see being turned into a TV or film adaptation. And because I loved Winter's Orbit so much, and I could visualize that so vividly as a film, I thought that this would be the same, and I thought it would be a great second movie. And it's fine if they just do the first one, please. I really do want the first one to be a film. I think it would be amazing. But Ocean's Echo, that's what I think of that. Biggest surprise. Okay. Biggest surprise this year has got to be Lovely War by Julie Berry. I read this as part of a collab video with Beatrice over at Beatrice's Book Nook and Donna over at Mum's Book Collection, where we read each other's favourite books for the first time, and to see if we loved them as much. And it was really, like, I would pick a book up, I would pick this up by myself, I think, but I wouldn't necessarily have high hopes for it, because historical fiction is, I'm very fussy. I love it, but I'm very fussy about it, and I have to be in the right mood to read it and love it. So yeah, so I potentially would have picked this up myself at some point, but Strange to Dreamer was the other book that I had to read for that video, and that was a 5-star prediction for me, and it ended up being switched. So I DNF'd Strange to Dreamer, much to my shock and dismay, and Lovely War ended up being 5 stars. Who knew that was going to happen? Like, you couldn't have planned it. In fact, I wouldn't have planned it that way, because to DNF a book that is one of my friend's favourites is not what you want at the end of the day. You want to be the same as your friends, you know? But, I mean, I guess it's fine. But anyway, Lovely War. This is unique in that it is a war story. It is following relationships, love connections during the war, but from a god's perspective, or several gods' perspectives. So we've got Aphrodite. Who else did we have? We had Aphrodite. Come on, there was at least 3 of them. Hades and man, this is annoying. Ares, Hades and Aphrodite. I nearly said Persephone, but that would make no sense. So yeah, that was my biggest surprise. My new favourite author for this year so far is definitely Tom Mead. Okay, we've got Death and the Conjurer by Tom Mead, and then we also have The Murder Wheel by Tom Mead, which I have somewhere over here because I plan to reread it soon. And then soon we have Cabaret Macabre being released. So there is a video on my channel. I think if this goes out when I want it to, it was my last video. I did a little interview with Tom Mead talking about his process and lots of fun information about his book, so feel free to check that video out. And yeah, he is an author who writes sort of golden age mystery, and it's just such a fun time. Just such a fun time. He has, his main character is Joseph Spector. He is someone who helps the police. He helps the police of Scotland Yard, who his contact with Scotland Yard is a bit of a dunce, shall we say. But Joseph Spector is a theatre person, an actor, shall we say, who is just especially good at figuring mysteries out. So it's a really interesting, fun time. They are largely locked door, and super fun. Super, definitely recommend checking Tom Mead's work out. Newest crush. Okay, so I have 3. We have Moira from Evocation. She's hot. That's it. And then we also have Gideon from Gideon the Ninth. And then I'm laughing because this next person, I'm doing the Hunger Games readathon, and there is someone who, one of the game makers for the readathon, has modelled their whole profile on this character. So it feels very much like I'm saying I fancy this person. I don't know this person in real life, so I can't say I fancy them. But the character that I have a crush on is, oh my god, I feel embarrassed. That doesn't happen very often. I don't get embarrassed this easy. Yeah, it's Haymitch from the Hunger Games. Yeah, okay, I like them broken, what can I say? So there's that. Yeah, moving on. Next we have my newest favourite character, and that was easy because it's a book I've just finished recently, like as in a couple of days ago, and it is King Ulrich from So This Is Ever After. He is hilarious, he is sweet, he is oblivious, and just such a fun time to spend time with. So there's that. The next book I really don't want to talk about, but it is the book that made me cry this year. Now, I've had tears in my eyes, I've been upset in books, I've felt sad, I've felt all the emotions in books, but there's only one book that actually physically made me sob my heart out. And it was Fourth Wing. There is video evidence of this if you want to go back on my channel and find it. Feel free. Me and Fourth Wing have got a love-hate connection. Okay. Next, a book that made me happy is Gender Euphoria. This is edited by Laura Kate Dale, and as some of you will know, especially if you watch some of my videos or chatted to me at all, then you know that I recently figured out that I'm non-binary and therefore my pronouns are they, them. And this book, like this is a whole thing for me, but I needed this book in this moment that I read this, because I needed to see why it's so important for me to not retreat and hide again. I needed to see the euphoria that being yourself brings. I'm not saying it doesn't have its challenges, that it's not difficult at times, or that I haven't had attention that I didn't necessarily want. I'm not saying any of them things. I'm saying that being yourself is never wrong. And this really helped bring that home to me. It helped me to really find that courage to keep figuring out who I am, and to not keep to not want to hide again, and to just to carry on living my best life and my true life, and that is something I'm very grateful for. So this is a series of stories, not stories, they're real life experiences of people that come under the trans and non-binary flag. So it literally says that here: stories of joy from trans, non-binary and intersex writers. So it is focusing on that joy and that euphoria. So I highly recommend this, whether you're on a journey of self-discovery as I am, whether you already know where you sit on the gender spectrum, whether you are cis and just want to understand a little bit more about a different gender to yourself, then I recommend this. I recommend this for anybody and everybody who's open to reading it, basically. Yeah, it was a fun time, emotional and fun, and made me very happy. Most beautiful. Okay, so I do have to bring out the Hunger Games again. As you can see, hopefully you can see some of the foiling come up in the light as I move it. It is beautiful. The whole series is beautiful because I couldn't help myself but get this special edition set. What can I say? Hadn't even read the series yet and I bought the special edition set. That is not recommended. However, it's working out in my favour. So we're fine. We're all good. This is obviously beautiful. Oh, we've got a minute left. And then I wanted to also mention Hell Followed With Us by Andrew Joseph White. This is the Waterstones special edition. Obviously the cover, this is just the standard cover in terms of, like, I think this is the cover for everyone everywhere. But then it's got the beautiful sprayed edges that I just love and I think are beautiful. And I spend a lot of time looking at. So, oh, and then obviously I have to bring out Evocation again, because I was lucky enough to go on the release tour, is it? Where I got this beautiful artwork and I got this beautiful. This obviously is the standard cover underneath, but I got, oh, sugar. Okay, that's it. Thanks, bye.
Grab a cup of joe.